And welcome to another live stream Watchalong reaction, the first of 4 for the day. We'll have a review at the bitter end of this day. So 4 straight streams and then 1 review at the end of it. But here we are. First stream of the day, we got Spain versus Cape Verde, FIFA World Cup 2026, Group H. España contra Cabo Verde, la Copa Mundial de FIFA, Grupo H, Partido 1. Spain versus Cape Verde. Cape Verde making their World Cup debut. The first time I've ever talked about this nation that wasn't about a hurricane season. And hurricanes coming off the coast of Africa. I can't believe it, I know. I can't believe it, I know. It feels weird. With that being said, they have a national football team. Of course they do. And they made the World Cup. Feels weird. We talk about them in a football sense and not a hurricane sense. Really doesn't. Who knows? Maybe this year the only time we talk about him is a football sense because El Nino is a super El Nino. And hurricane season should be very much tampered down in the Atlantic. And normally that means the Cape Verde season. But either way, that's neither here nor there. That's what I know and you don't. Starting 11. Most of you don't. With that being said, starting 11. Spain versus Cape Verde. Goalkeeper, Unai Simon for Spain. The back four, Marcos Llorente, Pau Cubarsí, Aymeric Laporte, Marc Cucurella. Midfield three of Fabian Ruiz, Rodri, Pedri. Front three of Ferran Torres, Mikel Oyarzabal, and Gavi. For Cape Verde in goal, Volsinha. Left back, Sidney Lopez Cabral. Center back, Denis Borges, Roberto Lopes, Steven Moreira, Columbus Crew. Steven Moreira. Center defensive mid, Laros Duarte, Kevin Pina. The left wing, Jovan Cabral. Center attacking mid, Jamiro Montero, former Philadelphia Union and San Jose Earthquake player, Jamiro Montero. Ryan Mendez, right wing, and striker Dillon Livramento in this match. Spain should beat their ass, but shit, I don't know. Next up is Belgium, Egypt after this. Then we got Saudi Arabia, Uruguay, and Iran, New Zealand. So, we keep going. Then we have 4 more tomorrow and 4 more Wednesday. Then 4 more Thursday and 4 more Friday. And 4 more Saturday, and 4 more Sunday, and 4 more Monday, and 4 more Tuesday. And I think Wednesday's the first day. Next Wednesday, not this Wednesday, but the Wednesday after. I think that's 3 windows of matches. Of course, 6 matches on the day, but 3 streams because of those 3 windows. And do with that what you will. And we are off. Atlanta, Georgia, Mercedes-Benz Stadium today. And they got to keep it, and it got to keep its name, I think. Oh, look, it's fuming again. It's fuming again. Joe Dickerson, VAR referee. Fuming. Hey, everybody else made that joke. You can't get mad at me. A lot of other people made that joke. Starting 11, Unai Simon. Like, what, 4 days ago? Marc Cucurella, Aymeric Laporte, Pau Cubarsí, Marcos Llorente, Rodri, Fabian Ruiz, Pedri, Gavi, Mikel Oyarzabal, Ferran Torres. I would assume everybody's seen the British people who already made that joke, yeah. But no, I'm the one who probably gets shit for it. Yeah, knowing. Yeah, exactly. Starting 11, Vozinha, Sidney Lopez Cabral, Pico Lopez, Denis Borges, Steven Moreira, Laros Duarte, Kevin Pina, Jovan Cabral, Jamiro Monteiro, Ryan Mendez, Dillon Livramento for Cabo Verde, Cape Verde, whatever you want to call them. I like to call them the island tropical waves come off of. That's what I'm used to. Either way. Spain versus Cabo Verde. Spain wearing their red kits, their home kits, their Real Salt Lake ripoff kits. Because that's exactly what they look like. Cabo Verde wearing white. I said it 6 months ago. I'll say it again. They look like Real Salt Lake ripoff kits. My prediction score for Spain, Cape Verde, 5-0. Probably. This one's just a live stream. Seattle Stadium. They're playing at Lumen Field or CenturyLink Field for Belgium, Egypt. Saudi Arabia, Uruguay is Miami Stadium. Well, Hard Rock Stadium. And Iran, New Zealand is LA. I'm guessing SoFi Stadium again. I'm guessing. And we're off, I'm guessing. Nil-nil, and how quick will Spain come out to a 1-0 lead? Because that's probably the question here, right? Cheers to another day of World Cup football. So, playing forward, Spain. This can't go too easily. Spain's got to go hard on them. Adem Makhadame. Adem Makhadame. Yeah, we'll go. Yeah, we'll go. Playing forward. Everyone is making 93 a meme for the way he jumped out on an empty net goal. Yeah. Oh, man, that felt so good to watch. The last chance to maybe save Vegas's ass, or at least do something to save Vegas's ass, he jumped out of the way, which is kind of ironic because for the Leafs, the one thing I can say is 93 always loved to defend on empty nets like a rabid dog. So that's kind of ironic. There's one, I mean, even in the playoffs, honestly, if there's one thing I can give him that's positive, is he always loved to defend on empty nets like a rabid dog. That was actually sort of out of character for him, I'm not going to lie. Honestly, he probably would have never done that for the Leafs, but Leafs 93 took over in the most weird way, which would never have happened in Toronto. I was like, well, shit. I was like, okay. It was hilarious, don't get me wrong, but I mean, let's admit, to be fair to him, which I know I'm surprised I'm saying that, dude defended like a rabid dog on empty nets playing for the Leafs. That's the one thing I can positively say about him, besides he was a regular season merchant. That's still sort of a backhanded compliment. My most true compliment to him is he defended like a rabid dog on empty nets no matter what time of the season it was. Back in Toronto. That's the only thing I can say completely positively. Because at least regular season merchant is still a backhanded compliment. 0-0. 0-0. 3 minutes in. But it was fun to see it happen the way it did. Some from Doha says, Ilias, welcome back. It's good to see you again. It's been a while, man. It's been a while, man. It's been a couple of months. A good few months. If not half a year. Maybe it's been less than that. 0-0. Cape Verde don't look as bad as, well, they don't look as overmatched as Curacao did. I don't know if that's a good sign or not for Spain. It's been a while. Life gets to you, bro. Became a father for the first time recently. Congratulations. So happy for you, man. I love that. How's it going? How much sleep have you gotten? The good thing, I have to say, whenever I do have kids, the good thing about my fucked sleep schedule is having kids is not going to fuck anything up. It's going to feel like nothing's going to really change. Nothing's really going to change. That's the good news for me, is like, my sleep schedule's so fucked anyway that no complaints. I mean, I can't complain. I couldn't complain. Maybe it'll be a little bit different. I don't see how much different it could be, you know? But again, congratulations, though. For you, though, I'm sure you're probably happily suffering, but suffering nonetheless. But again, I'm happy for you, man. I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you. That sounds amazing. Sounds amazing. I hope you and the family are doing well. I hope things are going well for you over there, and hope it's the biggest blessing you ever could have had. I'm happy to hear that. Thanks, my man. Barely any sleep, especially during the nights. Yeah. I expect that. Nil. Man, that's awesome, man. Well, the baby, not the not the lack of sleep, but again, but the nights, the World Cup's on nights here, so I could step up in case she cries as I'm watching the games. Okay, that's a beautiful memory. That's gonna be some beautiful memories down the line. Thinking about that, I'm sure one of these days you're gonna look back at this summer fondly, even if you don't in the moment, even if you kind of don't in the moment. I think you're gonna look back at those moments pretty fondly down the line. Appreciate you, bro. I think that sounds honestly awesome to me. During watching World Cup games late at night, rocking your baby back to sleep, that sounds like that actually sounds like a dream to me. I mean, that probably. First ever meeting between these two teams, of course it is. Cape Verde looks a lot more. Curacao looked a lot more threatened, though, in the last against Germany. Spain might not be. I mean, Lamine Yamal's injured, but you honestly, I know they're probably going to give him minutes. You honestly probably don't want to give him too many in this game, but I don't know. Our Spain, this is a little bit. I don't know. I'm a little bit worried. If Spain is as good as people say, they should be just absolutely trashing Cape Verde. And, well, how long did it take? It took Curacao 9 minutes, right? 6 minutes. I didn't say we're going to see another 7-1, but Cape Verde seems a little bit actually competitive. I'm not saying they're Haiti, and I'm not saying Spain is Scotland, but, or I'm not saying Spain is Switzerland and Cape Verde is Qatar, but I think they're a lot closer to that than Curacao and Germany. Oh, Lord. I can't say, but either way. I don't. Either way. Playing for. Oh, damn, that was a bad pass. Spain is just, they're starting a bit slow. I can't lie. I can't lie. They're probably not going to pay for it, but they're starting a bit slow. They're starting a bit slow. They're starting a bit slow. Playing forward. Probably not going to pay for it, but, what do I know? Yeah. $9.56. I mean, I guess that is a good point. Either way, 10 minutes in. As the day goes on, you'll see the final 8 streams of the first match day of the group stage pop up on this channel, by the way. Because, I mean, since there's 4 lives, but only 1 RSR at the bitter end, I have time to do that. Probably not this next hour, I would say, by the way. After this game's over, I'll probably eat some breakfast. Actually, shit, it would be. Well, early lunch. But it's not breakfast for dinner, but either way, whatever. 11 minutes in. Pretty early for my standards. I'm not going to lie. 11 minutes in. Cross in. Header! Oh, good defensive header by Cape Verde. Or at least it didn't go in. But I think Cape Verde got more of that than anything else. I don't know if I... You know what? I can see why they made the World Cup. At least, well, yeah, no, Cape Verde, if you're them, at least people could sit here for the first 11 minutes and say, you know what, at least I can see why they made the World Cup. Curacao, there's probably people who are like, what? How'd they make this shit? Like, they actually did pretty good in CONCACAF qualifying. It's like, who cares about that? What the hell, man? I can't say you're wrong. I can't say, man. And I can't exactly say they went down on their sword. The first half they did. The second half, they legitimately waved the white flag. Partially because I think they realized they felt like they got fucked. To not splice any words. To not mince any words. On that penalty right at the end of the first half. You know, it's funny. I feel like they kind of gave up. Partially, that was part of the problem. It's like, I feel like they felt like they got screwed and they gave up after that penalty that they gave up. That was mostly bullshit. 99% bullshit. Whatever. Because I thought they were playing well, because I thought Curacao played well in the first half. If they were down 2-1, do they just completely just go off and just collapse in the second half? I don't think so. I kind of have a funny feeling that penalty had something to do with it, them completely collapsing. I mean, yeah, Germany's got a lot of talent. I'm not saying they don't, but that penalty isn't given up and they're only down 1 at the half. Maybe they don't completely collapse. To play devil's advocate, not that I should, but, you know, I kind of have a feeling that was a lot of it. Because after a penalty like that and you're a team like Curacao against somebody as talented as Germany, and it's such a talent disparity, I kind of can see why, you know. For example, if you watch college football, this is the way I like to put it. Say Mississippi State's playing Alcorn, okay? Mississippi State is winning at the half, but it's 21-14, but Alcorn's putting up a good fight, right? And Mississippi State's on their final drive of the half, and there's a phantom pass interference or a phantom targeting that ends up giving Mississippi State the ball around. They're kind of struggling on their final drive, but it gives them the ball around the 45-yard line, right? And then from there, Mississippi State scores a touchdown, maybe with 2 minutes, maybe a minute left. Yeah, no, I could see why that would ruin you. And then State just goes on and just lays waste to Alcorn for the second half. It's too close for them to cut the timer down to 8 minutes or 10 minutes per quarter, and running clock. But they play a whole half of 12 minutes of third quarter and fourth quarter and 15 minutes, and just beat the shit out of them in the second half. So it's like what, 50 something to 14, Mississippi State. Yeah, that's kind of what happened there. Yeah, playing forward. Sometimes there's things that ruin your psyche, and I think that was that. No disrespect to Alcorn, but that was just one of the absolute minnows on our schedule last year. So that's why that came up. No disrespect to the HBCUs, no disrespect to Alcorn. I would love to see them do well in their conference when they're not playing state, just like Jackson State and just like Mississippi Valley State and such and such. Because Alcorn's in Mississippi, by the way, if you didn't know. But they were the most minnow team of all the minnow teams on our schedule last year, so. And I don't have this year's schedule committed to memory, so Alcorn is used as an example for that reason. To be clear. Spain, ball crossed in. I don't know why I explained it that way, but I did. And you could say, well, that was probably what was going to happen anyway. Yeah, but I can't help but think a bullshit call made it worse. Maybe the game would have been closer had the bullshit call not happened with the way they were playing in the first half. Speaking of Curacao now, it makes me, I'm just saying. Because it was. I don't care. 18th minute. Cape Verde hasn't been, well, shit. Spain needs to wake up, man. Hit that like button, let's get us one going. Playing forward. Spain has the ball at the back. Now they're just kind of toying with them there. Playing forward. Spain on the ball. Spain is struggling just a bit, or a good amount. Playing forward. Over the top. Brought down. Cross. Header. No. Missed. And scuffed. Speaking of time, speaking of sleep schedules, just for kicks, do you think Spain is suffering from jet lag and they feel like they woke up too early for this match? Because I can guarantee you, well, fuck if I know about anywhere else, but I don't think they've ever played at 11 in the morning anywhere they're from. But playing 11 in the morning at Europe's a completely different thing than playing at 11 in the morning in the Americas. I'm just saying. This has got to be probably the earliest on their body clock they've ever played. Gotta be. I mean, seriously. I mean, that has to make a difference, right? Oh, that's Fernando Hierro. I thought that was Hunter Biden for like 5 seconds. I'm half kidding. I didn't realize. Yeah, Fernando Hierro kind of has the same facial structure. It's whatever. It's fine. I'm kidding. Mostly. Cross in. In England, there's a 12:30 kickoff like every weekend, to be fair. Well, I'm talking about Spain, though. Oh, yeah, because there's like 9 o'clock games. Hold on. Well, then again, if you think about it, midnight's 1 o'clock in the morning over there. Or 7 o'clock is 1 o'clock in the morning over there. There's 6 o'clock in the morning games in the Premier League over here, which means that would be 12:30 over there. That tracks. But I was talking about Spain. Spain games seem to be a little bit later. Now, I can't think the time zone will be that much different. But it always seems to me Spanish games kind of play a little bit later. You know? Like during La Liga. Because, I mean, shit, I feel like there's Spanish games that are played at like 3 p.m. At least play at like 1 and end at 3. You know? Something like that. I mean, kind of feels like. I'm not saying all of them do, but, you know. Yeah, La Liga doesn't do early kickoffs that much. I think it's to do with them not having the Asian fan market. England does. Yeah, but I also kind of think that England just likes doing early kickoffs. Like, they kind of have that mentality of like, I don't know. But I mean, yeah, it probably does help the Asian fan market as well, but it really screws the American fan market, and they really care about that too. So if we're talking about fan markets, Canadian and American fan markets, it kind of screws them over. Hydration break in a dome stadium. It's called, we haven't had a hydration break every game to make some money off commercials unless you're Telemundo. 0-0, settle. Under the guise of fairness, but really it's to make more money. Because they didn't do this at the Club World Cup last year. They didn't do this at the Gold Cup in every game. I guarantee you next summer that the Gold Cup's going to have a hydration break every game no matter where they play. yards the ball, hadn't even touched the ball. Spain just looks, I can't say bad, but they look weak right now. I think that's a better term, weak. They don't look deadly. They don't look up to the sharp. They don't look sharp. Capitalism. Yeah, I get it. I mean, capitalism, late stage capitalism and shitification. But I guarantee you, I'm calling it now. Well, oh wait, they're playing they're playing a World Cup in Brazil, a Women's World Cup in Brazil next summer. But I don't think Brazil's going to stand for it like America does, though. I'll say there's a 50. It's a Women's World Cup too. I like it. I think it's very good football, and I'm going to be watching it, covering it. Maybe if Canada makes the final, but mostly the Gold Cup, and if the Leafs go deep enough, Stanley Cup and all that. But I guarantee you the Gold Cup, every game at the Gold Cup is going to have a hydration break, and they're going to use commercials on it, no matter what. Especially if Fox still has the rights. If Fox still has the Gold Cup rights, they're going to do it. I guarantee you. What, you think they're going to see this and be like, yeah, no, the income will be a lot less than it was at the World Cup, but people watch the Gold Cup, and there's enough sickos out there that watch the Gold Cup that regularly that this will be useful. People will still pay a pretty penny for commercials during the Gold Cup. I guarantee you it's going to happen. Every game, I guarantee you. You can't put this genie back in the bottle, Christina Aguilera. You can't do it, You can't do it. So, 25th minute. How we doing, El Nini? How we doing? Hydration break's over. Brazil, on the other hand, well, shit, the games are on Netflix. So, I just remembered. Yeah, no, the games are on Netflix. But then again, this is more of a FIFA call than a Fox call than anything. So, but then again, there's advertisements on Netflix. But what about the ad-free tier? I'm getting an emergency test here in Seattle, says El Nini. What the? Emergency alert test. Oh, okay. An EAS test. I was like, what the hell? What the hell happened? I didn't see the word alert. It's early, man. It's early. And I only had, 3 hours of sleep Saturday into Sunday. And I only got about, 6 hours of sleep. I ain't gained nothing back. Let's be real. I was probably behind with all the games I did. I'm not that tired, but we'll see where this goes. Did I? So, I don't feel that tired, but I definitely kind of feel not really. I slept, but am I really rejuvenated? Probably not. I don't. What is it? Luckily, they timed it during the hydration break. Oh, okay. TV, yeah. Honestly, though, I mean, it's useful, but it's not like Seattle gets that many tornadoes. But then again, here's the funny part where I am. I don't get many EAS tests, or I should say EAS activations, besides the tests. Normally, the severe weather warnings just come through the local news, and the sirens. But, like whenever you get a tornado warning, where it pops up is the ticker on the local news. I don't know how it's handled in other places, but I don't see the blue EAS screen or anything. It's just on the, yeah. So, always has been that way, frankly. Only time I see the EAS is tests. But yeah, at least I timed it during the hydration break. It's better than ads, isn't it? I think in my life I've seen more fake EAS alerts than I have real ones. Like, I've never actually seen... I don't think I've ever actually seen a real EAS alert that wasn't a test. Because the way it works out for weather, it's just the news channel. Messi tomorrow, the Commandant, then El Comandante Wednesday. Cristiano Ronaldo? I've never heard that nickname for him. El Comandante. Wouldn't that be Mbappe? Mbappe plays tomorrow. What do you mean? Cristiano's the... Okay. El Comandante Wednesday. So Cristiano's who you're referring to. I wouldn't call Cristiano a dictator, but okay, that's Mbappe. Actually, well, no, I can't say he's a dictator either. Means the commander in Spanish. Yeah, that also can mean dictator. In a way, that can also mean dictator in a more fancy way. Again, Mbappe saved. One for the Commandant. One for the core. I guess the core doesn't get theirs. One for your country. One for the core. One for the Commandant. One for the core. I guess the core doesn't get theirs. "31st minute. Nil-nil. I cannot believe this is still 0-0. Spain's played like... If I'm a Spanish fan, I'm shaking in my boots right now. Oyarzabal gets his first touch of the game, and he absolutely fluffs it. I can't say fluffs it, but it did not go well. If I'm a Spain fan, I am shaking in my boots. Yeah, France is winning this fucking tournament, aren't they? God. Well, I just realized France is winning this tournament. I mean, I predicted France to win this tournament going in, but now if Spain keeps playing like this, there ain't no way. I was watching, El Nini said I was watching a South American football podcast and they were not in a good mood. Well, Brazil drew and Paraguay lost. That's all that's played so far, right? Ecuador lost. Yeah. Trying to think here. That feels like the only South American teams that have... South Africa, Mexico, South Korea, Czechia, Canada, Bosnia, USA, Paraguay, Ecuador. Like, Uruguay hasn't played yet. They play today. Argentina hasn't played yet. They play tomorrow. Brazil drew. Unless I'm missing some. Yeah, honestly, Colombian ball hasn't had any really good results today or this year so far. Honestly, true. Australia's CAF, Brazil, Paraguay, Brazil, Ecuador, Curacao technically. But, you know, if you want to split hairs, technically, I mean, Curaçao's in South America, even though they're in CONCACAF. Ecuador, depending on how you look at it, maybe they'll talk about them too. And, well, that's it then. Well, Ecuador, Uruguay today. Argentina tomorrow. Colombia on the 17th. I mean, it can't get worse, can it? Unbeaten the last 30 matches, 22-8-0 for Spain. Yeah, I don't care about that. Beat Cape Verde. Cape Verde looks really good. Do you think that Spain should have called Carabao? I don't see what that changes here. Like, I don't think that changes anything here. And, I mean, he's getting older. I mean, Pedro Porro, Llorente, maybe. I mean, he's better than both, but he's not that much better at this point. Honestly, if Jordi Alba was still playing, they should have just called him up. I know he's retired. I don't know why he did comparatively. I mean, looking at Suarez. Busquets, I understand why he retired. I still don't understand why Jordi Alba retired. I still don't get it. I really don't. Dude still had a lot left in the tank, and he retired, but Suarez is still playing. Even though Suarez has actually had a pretty solid MLS season, all things considered. But, enough about that. 5-1. Why? 34th minute. And you know what? Fun. I know Unai Simon was going to start, but you know what? It's not like he's done anything, but justice for David Raya. He should have started for Spain. David Raya legitimately was one of the best keepers in Europe, and they're starting Unai Simon over David Raya. Spain does not look good so far. They look horrible considering. Like, I'm not saying you need to be beating Cape Verde 4-0 at the half, but maybe 2-0. The chances at least how far up they've been up the pitch and the control of the ball they've had, in my mind, they should have at least been up 2-0 at the half. I mean, there's still 10 minutes to do that, but they probably should have scored by now already. Cucurella, header, and Oyarzabal misses. Shot! What a save! What a save, Bolsinha! Oh my God! What a save. It was offside anyway, but that was still an amazing save. Still an amazing save. I guess Oyarzabal was offside. Spain, free kick for Cape Verde. I'm honestly worried. Like, this is not the way you want to start a World Cup. Like, you got an absolute tomato can, and you're not playing like shit. You're not performing to the level you should, and you aren't winning to the level you should. If I'm Spain, I am absolutely sweating bullets right now. Because what happens when, hold on, let's make sure who's else in this group. Saudi and Uruguay. Okay, if you play Saudi, that shouldn't be that much of a problem. Hervé Renard is gone. The fact, I don't see them springing an upset without Hervé Renard as their manager. So you kind of dodged a bullet there. But you're playing Uruguay, who still has Marcelo Bielsa, who still has very solid players, who has a player who knows your players like the back of his hand, in Federico Valverde, who's their I think he's Uruguay's captain, but one of their highest level players. That's going to be tough. And even then, even if you don't exactly struggle in the group stage, the knockout stage gets harder. It might not exactly become apparent very quickly, but it's definitely... I like Uruguay because they're pretty humble, says Elmini. Did you not see what happened at the end of the 2022 World Cup? Do you not remember when they crashed out at the end of the 2022 World Cup? Humbled my ass. Remember when they got eliminated from the group stage and they crashed the hell out in like the third match day of the 2022 World Cup? I was live for that game. They crashed out like a mug. What do you mean? Header, Cucurella goes down, shot off the crossbar. Punched over by Bozinha. Header by Oyarzabal. Ferran is so bad. That might have been offside as well. Ferran Torres, like, all he had to do was put a little bit lower and Spain would have been leading and we kind of not complaining. At the Ivory Coast Ecuador game, the crossbar was MVP of the match. Well, the crossbar is MVP again. He got about what? Actually, no, it was the second to last game. He actually got a good night's sleep, he is. And now he's the MVP again. We're overworking the crossbar, boys. We're overworking the crossbar, boys. Corner. It wasn't offside because they have a corner, but got close. Ball crossed in for Spain. Header. Punched. Headed away. You know what's funny? I can just imagine. Oh, whatever. This makes Curacao look worse, you know? Because Spain, as it stands, are better than Germany. At least in the eyes of most people, right? I don't know. Curacao on paper is probably better than Cape Verde on paper, right? In theory, Cape Verde should be taking it worse than Curacao took it from Germany. In theory. I mean, I know theory don't mean shit when you cross the lines, but, you know, whatever. But to be fair, in theory, you know, why do I feel Cape Verde upset incoming? Oh my God, that would be nuts. I mean, they're playing well. They haven't allowed any goals, and they're playing solidly, but playing forward. Cape Verde attacking. They're in the box. Unai Simon picks it up. Spain's going to score anyways. Yeah, but again, nice jersey. This one, thank you. I mean, it's the best. I mean, it's a Spanish team, isn't it? It's Real Madrid. But ironically enough, I could also wear it for Portugal because the team that Cristiano's most known for playing for is Real Madrid. So I'll pull it out for Portugal's games as well. I mean, that's what I normally do. It works as a double-edged sword, yeah. The thing about Spain is they're trying to walk it in. And that barely, I don't care how good you are, that barely ever works. Walking it in pisses me off to no end, man. It pisses me off to no end. It pisses me off to no end because I don't care how good you are and I don't care how weak the other team is. Walking it in is just sort of disrespectful, honestly. Just shoot the damn, like, shoot the ball offside. In my opinion, I'm not saying, like, just oops all bangers, but shoot from distance. Once you get a chance to shoot, shoot. Like, well, the accuracy of getting it within 6 yards, you know, is much better than 18 or 20. Who gives a shit? If you have a window, shoot. Like, trying to be like, well, you know what? And you know what? Devil's advocate. Or I don't know. Getting within 6 yards. Just like the hockey player, Wayne Gretzky, the great one, said, you miss every shot you don't take. Yeah, Wayne Gretzky said that, the great one. It ain't just some random hockey player. It's the greatest of all time, Wayne Gretzky. And I don't care how most Canadians, I don't know, most, half, some, I don't care how anybody feels about him. Wayne Gretzky is still the best hockey player of all time. He is still the great one. Shot save! I will not. Is Wayne Gretzky's politics dumb? Yeah, but I don't ask about his politics. I watch what he did in hockey. I care about what he did in hockey and what he says about hockey. Wayne Gretzky, I'm not taking no Wayne Gretzky slander. He is still the great one. You already got rid. You already. What an epic quote. They already basically sewered Don Cherry. I can probably guess that he probably agrees more with Wayne Gretzky anyway. But, you know, I could probably guess. But that was before. Had some errands to run. Just got back home. And ain't no way Spain drawing. Yeah, they're drawing. And they're 4 minutes away from drawing at the half. Cape Verde is playing well defensively. Spain can't finish their dinner, and they're trying to walk the ball in, and that pretty much is exactly why they're drawing. You ain't missed a damn thing. I bet you hated running some errands, and you missed the first half of the Spain game, and then turns out you missed nothing. I don't know if you're happy or pissed. Like 50% of you's probably happy you missed nothing, and 50% of you's like, I missed the first half, and I missed Spain falling flat on their face. Hey, you know what? It's fine. I gotta say, is Yamal playing? No. I don't. Well, I guess it would matter, but he's on a injured groin or something. He's working through an injured groin. So I don't know how much better he would be. Would he be his peak self? No, probably not. How much would that change if he was playing? Considering what his condition is, like how much would it actually change? 0-0, settle. 47th minute corner for Spain. But for Contreras, well, I would assume Lamine would be playing. Yamal's still out, yeah. I would assume that Lamine would be playing where Ferran is, right? And Ferran's been asked. Header. Save. Damn. Right now, Vizinha is the man of the match, by the way. Some really big saves from him. Out for another corner. I would assume that Lamine's would be playing in Ferran Torres' spot. I would assume. Okay, maybe they would be winning right now. Because Ferran has had a freaking disaster class. Cross in, header. I mean, Ferran is just a sub for Barca for a reason. Yeah, but didn't he used to play for Man City? Yeah, he used to play for Man City. Chile walked Cape Verde down 5-2 El Spain. That was 4 years ago, but played for Man City. 43 appearances, 16 goals. And I thought he played well. He did, yes. First days of Pep. Well, I would say it was the middle of Pep's reign compared to first days, but I mean, August 2020 to January 2022. I mean, I'd say that was like halfway. But either way, Chile in the FIFA series. I know. And Chile didn't even make this tournament. Header down. 49th minute. But he got 43 appearances and 16 goals. At Barcelona for the past 4 years, he's had 207 appearances and 65 goals. I get he's a sub, but that sounds a little bit better than sub numbers to me. 58 appearances, 24 goals for Spain. But again, that depends on where they came from because, you know, might have came against Liechtenstein. Chile, bro, how is Spain? How's Spain not scored? New Zealand beat them. Spain looks like shit, bro. Halftime. Nil, 0-0 medio tiempo. Dare I say they need Lamine Yamal to save their ass. Dare I say, they say you can get minutes. Dare I say Lamine needs at least 25 minutes. Rodri's not him. Well, I mean, he's probably been starting considering Lamine's been hurt since March. That probably tracks. Well, if he is a starter, it's probably because Lamine's been injured since March. April. I mean, that would probably make sense if he's a backup at Barcelona. Well, logic dictates he'd be starting because Lamine is injured. Has been injured for a while for club and country. So, yeah, I mean, technically. With that being said, halftime 0-0, 0-0 medio tiempo. We will be back for the stats of the half. We'll take a short break. Yeah, I can't believe what I'm seeing. Sit tight, be back. 0-0, 0-0. We are back for the stats of the half. How we doing, Sean? At a half, day to day. Oh, yeah, that is New Jersey. Yeah, that makes sense. I was like, y'all still in school? I'm like, it's New Jersey. That makes sense. Stats of the half. Like, how we doing? With that being said, that tracks. It's New Jersey. 70% possession to 30% possession, 13 shots to 3, 4 shots on goal to 0, 366 accurate passes, 92% to 129, 77%, 0 yellow cards to 1, 4 corners to 0, 13 shots to 3, 5 shots off target to 2, 4 shots on goal to 0. Okay. 379 to 167 on passes, 92% pass accuracy to 77. 6 throws to 10, 2 offside to 3, 0 yellow cards to 1, 0 red cards to 0, 5 fouls to 1. Is that a Philly cheesesteak at Arby's? Actually, that sounds pretty good. Well, I do like Arby's. I might try it. With that being said, Spain is at 0-0 at the half. 0-0 middle tiempo. Garbage. Spain is... They're not losing, but they're garbage, you know? They have not scored on Cape Verde yet. Bozinho's the man of the match. Making some big saves. Contreras is a joke. Spain's trying to walk the ball in, and it makes them look bad. It's about as simple as I can put it. Spain's trying to walk the ball in, and it's not working. And the 93 Glazers are crying like punks. 93 Glazers are still gaslighting, huh? What do you know? A guy whose team wouldn't have made the playoffs. Without him, really. The 93 Glazers are still gaslighting. Even though 93 lost the Stanley Cup final, the 93 Glazers, the 93 defenders are still gaslighting Leafs fans. I can't say I'm surprised. 93 derangement syndrome, buddy. And no, Vegas would have made the playoffs without him. I don't know. Shit, they probably would have made Game 6 of the Stanley Cup final without him. They didn't need him. Well, look at the points he scored. Yeah, just Eichel would have probably scored those points. Either way. Yeah.
Something happened?
Second half to start. Rodri's a defensive mid. He's not expected to score. And yeah, nobody said that. Nobody was going after Rodri. Not me, at least. Nil. Settle. Fozinha made 4 saves in the first half. Hit that like button. Let's get this one going. Playing forward. Spain save Fozinha. Won 7-0 versus Costa Rica in the 2022 FIFA World Cup opener for Spain. That was their only 3rd opening win since 1962. So, can't wait for Tim Payne later, says Sun. That is your last match of the day. That is your main event. Iran, my bad. Iran. Still a little bit early, and I don't know about the amount of sleep I got. 47th minute. That is your main event today. Iran versus New Zealand. .47th minute. I still want to see a USA versus Iran match of the World Cup. I don't care if there's a truce or not. I don't care if there's the big boys playing tomorrow. France, Argentina, yeah. I don't care if there's a peace deal or a truce or not. I still want to see the USA play it on. And when I cover that game, I might be wearing a U.S. jersey, but am I really rooting for him? Probably. Honestly, no. Header. Here comes Spain. Shot over the bar. Spain. Playing forward. I think everyone wants to see US play it on, to be honest, regardless of politics and whatever. It's because of politics is why they want to see it happen. Well, honestly, people wanted to see it happen 4 years ago when it happened, but even more now. If you thought that one was crazy. Going forward, here comes Spain. Gavi lost it. Why is a left winger wearing the number 9? That just irks the shit out of me. I get you only can wear up to number 26 of the World Cup, but a left winger's wearing the number 9. That shit irks me. I don't care. That shit irks me. I don't care. I don't like it at all. Like, what winger wears a freaking number 9? Is this a Fox problem or is it a... .49th minute. Is Fox tripping? Playing for... Okay, we're back. Whatever that problem was. 50th minute, playing forward. Shot and over the bar by Spain. By Pedri. Pedri played it on to Fabian Ruiz, who put it over the bar. 51st minute. playing forward. Honestly, though, a winger taking the number 9 when a striker doesn't wear it, that just shows you the strikers don't have the balls to be a good striker. You know what? Yeah, no, I'll say that. If my striker doesn't wear the number 9, they ain't got the balls to be the dominant striker you would think they should be. That's always a red flag. Even if there's a number 9 curse at a club, you might as well try to fight the curse. But what about João Pedro, though? Well, Liam Delap already had the number 9. So that didn't end well. Honestly, at this point, I don't know if I want João Pedro to take the number 9. Even if Delap leaves. But João Pedro's so fluid, I honestly don't think it matters. 53rd minute. Shot! Wide. Tried to chip it. And with a take like that, why wouldn't I be the redneck lead gunner? Or at least compared either way, you know what I mean? But basically what I'm saying is if somebody called me the redneck lead gunner, I would take that as an absolute compliment. Even if somebody meant that as an insult. Is what I'm saying. Which probably it would be meant as an insult, but, you know. I know he ain't popular, but he's right. Just like, I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but I'm right. 54th minute. I know I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but I'm right. '55th minute. Header. Oh! Nobody got there. I am definitely more sober though, but that's neither here nor there. I'm definitely more sober though, but that's neither here nor there. More because the only time I drink is New Year's Eve. Who? Oh my God. Crystal Palace. Oh, right. Andoni Iraola went to Liverpool. All right. Okay. Pierre Sage, however you say it. Who the fuck is that? Oh yeah, Marco Silva's going to Benfica, isn't he? Damn. Crystal Palace got a nobody to replace Glasner. Sacked by Christmas. Yeah, I bet so. Who? They should have... Shit, if they were going to hire that dude, they should have hired Liam Rossinier. Header. Saved by Vozinha. Honestly, you know what? I'm going to say it. Wait. Pellegrino Matarazzo. That's what they should have done. If they were going to hire him. Crystal Palace just ruined everything. Yeah, you ain't winning the Europa League next year, buddy. And even if you do, you'll be like 16th. Sacked by Christmas. Who? They should have hired Callum McFarlane. Oh my God. I get their best option didn't go to them. They should have hired Ange Postecoglou. Actually, no, it wasn't his fault Forrest was that bad, first of all. I think Palace is better set up to play Ange ball, second of all. Third of all, Marinakis is a freaking mobster. Ange Postecoglou was right there, and honestly, I think that would have really much fit with Crystal Palace and what they have right now. I wonder where Glasner ends up now. Probably back in Germany. Probably. I would assume so. I do too, honestly. I like Glasner. I think he's a really good coach. I mean, it was really, he left because he wasn't being backed. If there's a team in England who would back him, honestly, if they're going to get, actually, you know what, I'm going to say it. Newcastle should get rid of Eddie Howe and hire Glasner. How we doing, Rafa? How we doing? Que viva España. 58th minute. España merda esta día. España merda esta día. Cabo Verde. Cabo Verde. Fuerza. Espírita de World Copa Mundial de Primera Torneo. Yeah, you can see the wheels in my head are barely turning. Thank you very much. 11 a.m. is too damn early. Look. 58th minute. But honestly, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to say it. Oliver Glasner should replace Eddie Howe at Newcastle. Because honestly, what I wanted to see happen was Andoni Iraola go to Newcastle. But Liverpool's pretty good for him. I'm not going to lie. But before they were going to sack Slot, I was thinking Eddie Howe gone for Andoni Iraola. I think what Newcastle should do with the owners they have, they're actually going to back Glasner at least. Oliver Glasner to Newcastle. I'm going to say it. That's what I hope happens. There's no substance to that, but Eddie Howe, I think his time is up at Newcastle. I think his time is up. I think they have to make a change, and frankly, I think Oliver Glasner would be that perfect change. Somebody said, thank God it's not Bordelos. I would rather have Bordelos than some no-name guy I've never heard of. 60th minute. I got to look this guy up. RC Lawns. RC Lawns manager. Duarte, Cabral, and Livramento off. The only French team I watch is PSG, and that's only when they're in the Champions League. Or deeper. Dude only spent a season with Lens. They qualified for the Champions League and finished second. Okay, fair enough. But it's the Premier League compared. Okay. He also was at Lyon. He was also at Lyon. Well, that's kind of ironic, considering the last guy, the past owner of Crystal Palace, owns Lyon. Now they just hired a guy they know, who they fired. Brought down. So basically, they're just giving another team they semi-own, past-own, hand-me-downs. Okay. But he finished second with Lons. What does that mean? Well, that's like 10th in the Prem. Let's be real. Second in the Liga and is 10th in the Prem. At best. At best. Amorim to Milan. Oh. Amorim to AC Milan. Okay, maybe that, I don't know, dumb. Playing forward. 63rd minute. Header. Brought down. Cleared away. Spain's still struggling, man. 63rd minute. If Spain, Cape Verde is our first 0-0 of the tournament, I'm going to be shocked. That's not what I was expecting. That's not what I was expecting. To be absolutely real. Yeah, but 64th minute. If this is the first 0-0 of the tournament, this is probably the one I would have expected the least. Out of the first round of matches, or even maybe the second round of matches. Just looking at matches that haven't happened yet, because it's stupid to speculate about matches that have happened. Austria, Jordan. Oh, you're hate watching Spain, aren't you? I could see an outside shot of Portugal, DR Congo being 0-0. Probably not, but I could have seen it. It wouldn't have shocked me completely. England, Croatia, that being 0-0, that would have been a really good shout if Austria, Jordan didn't. Ghana, Panama, I could see it. Ghana and Panama, I could see that being 0-0. Uzbekistan, Colombia, I think Colombia wins that. So, I mean, there's still a couple of matches where if somehow Spain scores here or Cape Verde just goes and wins it, more likely if somebody scores it's Spain. I think Iraq, New Zealand, somebody's going to score in that match. I think there will be a goal in that match. Belgium, Egypt, there will be goals there. Saudi Arabia, Uruguay, there will be goals there. Iran, New Zealand, I think there's goals there tonight. France, Senegal, of course there's goals there. Iraq, Norway, of course there's goals there. Erling Haaland. Argentina, Algeria, Messi, there's goals there. Messi will pull some magic out of his ass. And Mahrez could too. Austria, Jordan, that's a 0-0 waiting to happen. Probably. Portugal, DR Congo is an outside shot of being a 0-0. That's probably one of the less likely ones. England, Croatia, that definitely could be a 0-0, knowing how Croatia play and how Tuchel sometimes plays Haram ball. Either way. Ghana, Panama, that could be a 0-0, but I think Panama I think there will be goals there, but it wouldn't shock me if that was a 0-0. Too much. Probably a little bit less than DR Congo, Portugal. It would shock me, but either way. But still realistic. Colombia would score. So, I mean, there's like 4 matches in a row that definitely could be 0-0 if this one isn't. All of today and the start of tomorrow probably won't be. Or most of tomorrow won't be. That last match of tomorrow and every match on Thursday but the last one. I kind of want to see this tournament have no 0-0s to the second round of World Cup, second match round of the World Cup. And I'm not even. Yeah, but either way. Cape Verde need to score. If they do, I'm going to go crazy. Yeah, but again, I don't know. I'm not even going to argue about it, really. I don't want to do it. Header. I don't even want to argue, really. And Vizinha gets ran over by Rodri. And Lamine Yamal's coming on. Lamine Yamal is coming on. 20 minutes in after the hydration break, Lamine Yamal's going to come on. Lamine. Well, let's see if Lamine Yamal's healthy enough to worst play. Man, you do hate Spain. What the hell? Am I a fan of Barcelona? No. I'm okay with Spain, but I gotta admit, Lamine Yamal's a good player. What did he do to you? Jesus Lord, you do hate Spain. I mean, I hate Barcelona, but I'm gonna be real. Lamine Yamal's a good player. Lamine Yamal is one of the best young players. Well, he did get a bit egotistical there, and it kind of made him worse. I think a little bit's getting to his head, but his ego's too high. He thinks he's a god. Fair enough, you're right. But either way. Uruguay, yes. Yes, I think Uruguay is looking at this game and they said, you know what, we maybe could beat these guys. Saudi Arabia, no. I don't think Saudi Arabia, without Hervé Renard, would beat anybody. Or at least anybody worth a damn. I mean, yeah, they'll beat Cape Verde, I would assume. But I don't think Spain has a problem with Saudi Arabia because Saudi Arabia lost the coach that made them be well tactically drilled. Hervé Renard they were honestly garbage with Mancini. I'm surprised they let Hervé Renard go. They should have let him finish the World Cup. Yeah, if you're Uruguayan, yeah, you should love what you're seeing. If you're Saudi, if you still had Hervé Renard, you should love what you're seeing, but you don't now, so I wouldn't. But, now you got to feel kind of bad they fired him. Martin talked about Pele AI goals during Bosnia, Canada. He said Pele would have loved AI because he didn't score 1,000 goals, but AI will do it for him. Lamine Yamal coming on. Mikel Merino, I think. Yeah, Mikel Merino and Yamal. Hey, McChronicle, your boy Mikel Merino's on. 71st minute. Time for Spain to Arsenal a goal into the net. 1-0 to the Spanish. How we doing, Moro? 1-0 to the Spanish. Your boy Mikel Merino is on. 18 shots at 3, 5 shots on goal, 7 fouls to 1. Starboy. '72nd minute. Playing forward. Marino to score. Yes, W defenders. 73rd minute. Oh. You need a goal. Well, see, the thing is, beep Marino. Shot, save. Y'all be needing a goal. See, the thing is, y'all be needing a goal. See, the thing is, beep Marino. Nobody gets the beep Delta reference. Yeah, that's so out of left field, I know, but whatever. We've been flossing and flying this mofo all over this bitch. Wow. Check it. 74th minute. Ball crossed in. Spain are tied. I'm shocked. It's not over yet, but it's getting close. The World Cup is wild, my friend. There are things you don't expect to see that happen. Playing forward. Playing forward. Actually, no. That is actually quality. I'm gonna send that as a link to the chat. It might not be the best decision, but screw it. Now you need to see what I was referencing. Okay, zero excuses. All the starters are on the field. Veron, very, very bad striker. Here's header. Yeah, whatever. I won't. Playing forward. Here comes Spain. Actually, yeah, no, I'll leave it alone. '78th minute. Beep Delta. Flossing and flying this. Yeah, you got it. Well, I feel like Infantino's going to make a phone call. Well, I mean, haven't given a penalty yet. Besides, Infantino, I don't think he's as shameless as Colin Campbell. To be fair. Infantino might be shameless, but he's not Colin Campbell. Who should never be in the Hall of Fame, by the way. Hockey Hall of Fame. Colin Campbell should never be in the Hall of Fame. Colin Campbell. Match fixing and whatever. It's whatever. It's whatever. 79th minute. Arcanjo coming off for Cape Verde. Telemundo's very bad romance shows. Header. I mean, telenovelas are probably very sappy. I mean, they're not my sort of, well. Shot, headed away. I mean, I'm not exactly, well, it's not that they're bad, but it's not exactly my. Wow. Playing forward. I'm not exactly a. Spain lose the ball, playing it forward. No, they didn't actually. 80th minute. This is the world's game, not Spain's game. Damn, you're really preying on their downfall. Spain. Rodri. I mean, it's more like a draw, but okay. Then again, you know what? No, drawing Cape Verde 0-0 is a loss. It feels like a loss. Fair enough. Headed away. Yeah, fair enough. Playing forward. In through. Cross. Out for a corner. Dani Olmo coming on for Contreras. Yeah, that was about 80 minutes too late. Dani Olmo on. That's a goal kick, actually. They changed the decision to goal kick. 81st minute. Cape Verde population is 560K. Yeah, it's a lot more than Curacao, and that's it. Spain hasn't been the same since they drew to Turkey. And Turkey has asked, so what does it do? You know, why does the Blue Jays have a USA 250 patch on their head? Playing forward. Header. Cucurella, header. Oh, man. Cucurella almost pulled what he pulled at Chelsea, saving their own ass. The whole world pretty much knows the basics and tactics of football. I mean, yeah, not many. I wouldn't say many countries are still behind the times like it was 20 years ago. And I'm not saying Cape Verde is either, but it's their first World Cup, and they're playing Spain in their first World Cup game. You thought they would have at least lost 3-0. And that's not just, I mean, yeah, they know the basics, but Spain is Spain. Playing a giant when you're a minnow, it's still hard to do, even if you know the basics of football, especially in your first World Cup game ever. Look at Curacao. They played a giant in their first World Cup game ever, and it didn't look pretty. Spain might be frauds. Every game's 90 minutes plus whatever. I mean, '84th minute. '84th minute. Cape Verde. Bro, I mean, come on, it's their debut. Playing forward. Blocked away. Header. Shot wide. '85th minute. No matter if it ends 0-0 or 1-0, or Cape Verde has a chance of advancing now as a lucky loser. That's exactly the point we were trying to make with Curacao yesterday. But also there's, well, Saudi Arabia might. You know what? I'm going to be honest. Cape Verde might pull an upset on Saudi Arabia at this point. Whether they lose 1-0 or draw, they might pull an upset on Saudi Arabia. Keep an eye on that one is all I'm saying. Keep an eye on that one. I mean, I'm not saying they will, but keep an eye on that one. Chipped. Headed on. And if they win this game, oh my Lord. It's out for a throw-in. Then, of course, next at 2 o'clock, we have Belgium-Egypt, which will be back for that. Williams coming on for Spain, for Rodri. And now they're getting desperate. Tough to break down a park bus. Cape Verde with a win versus Saudi. They're in next round. Yep, because if you get 4 points, it's going to be hard not to be a lucky loser. Not second place. Well, okay, you probably need a little bit more, but even possibly second place. Probably not, but then you do get a draw against Uruguay, maybe. Depending on how much you beat Saudi by and then Uruguay beats them by, maybe, 87th minute. Just imagine how hyped Cape Verde would be if they made the knockout stage. That'd be awesome for them. Here's a chance. Shot over the bar. Deflected. There was such a chance there, but over the bar, and I think it was deflected. Oyarzabal. 88th minute corner. What a pass from Yamal. Short cross. Yamal. Cross in. Brought down and cleared. 88th minute. I think Spain needs a classic Cucurella saves their ass moment like Chelsea. I don't know. 88th minute. Give the ball to Marc Cucurella. This seems like the type of game where he needs to save your ass. Throw in 89th minute. This game might end pretty early comparatively to others. 89th minute. Boom. Damn, nice side foot too. Ah, yeah. Okay, that was good. Playing down. Spain. Nice play there. 89th minute, 1 minute before stoppage time. Spain up against it. Cape Verde holding on to a point. And they could break here. This could be a chance. Oh my, what if they did? Cape Verde into the box. Spain gets back. Cape Verde with a shot wide. Oh my word. They were so close. Oh my. What if they did there? What if they did? Kevin Pena off Dani Olmo. Shit, that's a corner. Corner for Cape Verde in the 90th minute. Oh my God, they scammed a corner. Can they do it? I hope they do. Here's the corner for Cape Verde, 90th minute. Header down, saved by Unai Simon. And we're into stoppage time. How much? 5 minutes. 5 more minutes. Williams puts it through. Wow, that was actually a good corner, though. Damn, they were so close. Man. Wow. The corner was well worked. The bad part is it did not go in. 24 shots to 5, 7 shots on goal to 1. That was right on target. Shot out for a corner for Spain with 4 minutes to go. Cape Verde playing real good. They're playing awesome. Not just real good, they're playing awesome. You love to see it. Spain they're on the ropes, boys. Header. Cucurella plays it back to the top of the circle. Okay, that's not exactly what you need to do. Matter of respect for them, this is Spain. Major W. You know what? Cape Verde deserves, they earned to be at the World Cup. They earned being at the World Cup, but it ain't just because they were in Africa. They deserve to be here. They deserve to be here. I would rather play Spain than this Cape Verde side. 92 minutes. Yeah, Spain looks fraud. Spain looks like a fraud right now. Was that Euro fluke? I don't know. Cape Verde are tough, I gotta say. Playing through. Loses the ball, Lamine. 92nd minute. Top of the box. Oh! Underran it, and it gets stolen. Cape Verde. And Cucurella clears it. Free kick for Cape Verde. 93rd minute. Over halfway through stoppage time. AFCON is the nastiest and most difficult qualifiers, even before they only had 5 tickets out of like 50 teams. I mean, African football is underrated, but I didn't think that meant Cape Verde. But watching this game, it does. Playing forward. What happened? I don't know. 94th minute. If only you knew how bad it really was. Here comes Cape Verde. Shot wide. Goal kick. They defend well. Playing forward. Playing forward. Williams. Ball crossed in. Just undercooked. Throw in for Spain with a minute to go. Cross in, headed away. Spain on the ball. There's their shot. That's wide. Corner for Spain. Final kick of the game, most likely. Ball crossed in. Header. Oh! No! Goal kick. Kubarsi misses the header. How Spain can't even get a goal? Full time! Cape Verde gets their first World Cup point with a 0-0 draw against Spain. A big favorite. Absolutely underwhelms in their first match. And that's not a good place to start for Spain. Cape Verde draws them 0-0. Wow. With that being said, if you like this stream, like it, share, subscribe. You know what it is. Tell your friends. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell notification. Hit that hype button to put us up in the algorithm. Hit that join button to become a member. Send stats on live streams. Comment on this video. Put this in playlist. Share with friends and family. I'll see you within the hour. I'll see you in an hour for Belgium versus Egypt. And then, of course, we also have another live stream for Saudi Arabia, Uruguay. And then we have a live stream for Iran, New Zealand. And then we have a review. One review today is just Iran, New Zealand. So I'll see you within the hour. And what a draw to watch. I'll see you in an hour. I'm Ron and I'm out. Peace. Belgium, Egypt next.